Hello, this is Vaibhav again from TechRail, and today I'm happy to say or announce that we are at the stage where the first release of Chamber is out. And just in case you have not followed up on my previous videos, I would like to reintroduce you to Chamber in a very brief manner. uh, you can go to techrail.in and there you'll find projects where you'll find chamber, and there you will find this link, product chamber. You can go there, you want to look at the code or you want to look at the releases, they're here. But I want to go here first, the index, and then go to the introduction, just to show you what chamber is, in case you have not gone through the previous introduction. So basically, chamber is a solution to a set of problems that I have faced personally, trying to keep my files secure and encrypted uh, while keeping it backed up. That was my primary use case. The secondary one is that I want to be able to access my files easily enough on any computer I want, which means cross platform, from a sense of OS, uh, and also from the sense that I don't have to be a root or administrator on the other machine to be able to decrypt my files that I probably have saved in my cloud storage. Like if I go to Google Drive, I download my encrypted file, I'm on a, let's say, an internet cafe or a friend's computer, I should be able to download this tool, use it, and it should work. And that's it. This is the primary problem space, and you can go through this entire article, the introductory article, uh, how I find that BitLocker, Lux, or encrypted DMGs on Mac OS, they're all completely locked down to their own platforms. Uh, None of them work for mobiles. The other solutions that are available, OpenSSL or GPG, they are per file basis, so it becomes difficult to use them with folders easily enough. And being easy to use is kind of the main point here, because although I am a technical person and I can set up my own workflows, but those are not available everywhere, and I have to actually do some work to set them up on each machine, and that's not an ideal thing to do. That's not an ideal way to pass your time, kill your time. Go CryptFS I tried, and on Mac OS it was a pain. I think they have improved, but still one-to-one file encryption doesn't really catch my eye. Uh, this is good though, and you might give it a try. The best, however, is VeraCrypt, and after using it and talking about it with some of my friends and family, I realized that it's pretty difficult to set up. Most of the people didn't understand anything that was being talked about in the creation wizard. It requires pretty deep understanding. I mean, I wouldn't say deep, but good amount of understanding about cryptography and file systems. Like if you try to create a vault with APFS on Mac OS and later take that vault into Windows, you won't be able to use it, and that happens. And it requires you to think ahead of time. So all of these problems come together uh, to give the idea or the requirement of an ideal vault based uh, file container system that I want. So there are other problems, but this requirement to mount, because if I talk about the two best ones I came across, GoCryptFS and VeraCrypt, both require you to mount. And there are two problems with mounting that I see. One is you cannot use a vault file, as a standard user on a computer if uh, you have not been able to mount it, and you can't mount it without being root or admin, most of the time at least, right? And the bigger problem is this: presence of a malicious actor or a supervising observer. If I take my vault files and mount them on, let's say, a rented server, uh, and in such a setup, I can't trust the service provider, the vendor on whose machine the VM is running. For example, if I'm using AWS, I mean, yes, Amazon is bound by all their terms, but it is my paranoia that I don't trust them with whatever I'm keeping on their side. So I don't want it to be a free pass to all my secrets. And the moment you mount, all your encrypted files are already available in a decrypted manner. Like anyone can get into the mount point and they can look into your files, copy or whatever. So I wanted to make it hard uh, by not requiring your vault to be mounted and still be possible to actually use those and access those secret files. And there are a few other problems that I want to address in the end. But obviously, out of all the feature set that I want for Chamber, uh, well, Chamber comes from it's inspired from the name Chamber of Secrets from Harry Potter. So thanks to J.K. Rowling for the name, maybe. Uh, Coming to the feature set, you can see I want it to be easy to use, cross-platform across multiple operating systems. Should be able to mount, but doesn't require your vault to be mounted. Should be auto resizable so that you don't waste space inside a vault or outside it. Splittable and joinable. This is definitely not ready. Uh, Neither is mounting, and it should be able to take care of the file system without asking the user to select one like Veracrypt does. I mean, this is more or less a part of ease of use. It should be hostable so that in a way that allows you to access your files kept on your rented or remote server uh, in an easy manner via web interface, but still disallows the owner of the system to easily, at least easily, access your files. Uh, you know, just because they are admin. So, without mounting, that should be difficult from what I understand. I don't know. I've not worked with AWS, and I don't know if they are able to access it or not. But I assume they'll be. So that part is one of the core things about making it hostable, being able to host your secrets on your server without mounting the vault. It should be mobile accessible. There is nothing at all that I have done in this regard. Supports automation as well as GUI. There's no work that has been done on GUI, but there's some support for automation via CLI commands. And right now, only CLI is ready. Supports change. I'm not thinking about changing right now. This is the very first release. Some of the very basic features have been built. Uh, Fault tolerance to some extent is there and works with minimal resources. Again, I have not worked on a lot of these. So, what have I worked on? Right. If I go back to the index, you can see the code and releases are here. So, let me get there and I'll show you the release notes. So this is the code. You can go through the license. This is dual licensed. Right now, everything is open source. There's no commercial feature. You can use it any way you want. Please remember that this is not production ready, and anything you do with it, the risk is yours, not mine. I'm disclaiming any, you know, responsibility towards any mishap that happens because of you using Chamber. With that, let's get to the releases. This is the very first release. There is just one release that I have done, and this is the alpha release of Chamber. It only works as a CLI tool right now. The commands that I have built right now are, I mean, up to this stage, you can see this was released 52 minutes ago, and there are no comments to the main branch since this release. So it's pretty much what works at the point of time when I'm speaking. So you can do basically 5 actions. You can create a new Chamber file, you can copy a file or directory from your computer or your file system to a Chamber file. By the way, the vault that I'm creating using Chamber, that I'm calling it Chamber file, and vice versa. So you can put something in, some file or directory into your vault, and you can take it back, take it out. You can remove a file or directory from within the Chamber. You can make a directory inside the Chamber. You can list the files in directory inside the Chamber as well. So CPRM MKDIR LS, you have got create, delete, kind of select, and there is no update right now. So anyway, this is the set of commands that the tool supports now. Again, I'm just repeating, this is an alpha release, so please do not use it for any kind of production use, and the liability is not on me. The second thing is, whenever you're referring to any file, folder, directory, whatever you want to call it, inside the VOD, the chamber file, you must use this chamber colon slash slash prefix for any and all paths inside the chamber file. So with that, let me show you how to get the tool, install it, uh, and use it. So this is a Mac system, and there are 4 types of computers this will work with. Excuse me. This is Darwin, which is Mac OS, uh, ARM64 0.1.0 alpha. This is what I'll be downloading. I have tried it 3 times and it works, obviously. There are other releases for Linux on ARM, so this will probably work with your Raspberry Pis and Orange Pis or whatever you have. This will work with a typical Intel based or AMD based computer, and this is for Windows. And if I go over to Discord and go to TechRail, let me quickly go over to TechRail, and I just wanted to show that we have already done alpha testing and cross platform. Let me see. So some demo I had shown of a previous state to some of the guys, and yeah, here is where a lot of people hang out. And if you want to be a part of the discussion, you've got questions, you have got, feature requests. Right now, this is the only place where you'll find me. Although, if you go to techrail.in and go down to the contact links here at the bottom, you'll find different places, and probably if you make some kind of a comment or start a thread, send me a message, whatever, I should be able to get a email or some kind of notification. I should be able to respond. But honestly, the 2 places where I'm most active is Telegram and Discord. So I would be very happy if you join the Discord server. The link is already here. You can go to contact links at the bottom and go for it. That being said, let me go back and download the release and try to get it working. Right. So let me click on this. Alright. So I'm gonna put this into my bin folder under my home directory here, and I will just save it as chamber. Okay, this saves me from renaming the file later. That's all there will be. So I'm gonna say save, and let me quit the oops, what happened? Quit, and let me go to ghosty. So I'm already in bin here, and if I list, you can see chamber okay, named it 0. Alpha. Somehow I still have to rename it, so mv chamber to chamber, and I'll have to chmod plus x chamber right now. And if I say /chamber, I think macOS will give me a warning. Yeah, it says Apple could not verify chamber is free of malware that may harm your Mac or compromise your privacy. I'm showing this to you because it is not, and you can trust it. The source is open. You can go to code, you can inspect whatever you want to do. I'm not trying to steal from you. Apple has this weird way of scaring you off, but this is an alpha release. You're probably a developer, you know how this plays out. So you can say done here. Then you have to go to system settings, go to privacy and security, and if you scroll down, when you open this, normally it would you know show up from the top, and you have to scroll down, and on the security it would say that chamber was blocked to protect your Mac, so you can allow anyway. And now if you run chamber dot slash chamber, it still gives you a warning, but now you can say open anyway, and oh, now there is a password, and that should work. You see chamber worked. If you want a easier way of doing it, what you can do is you can say I'm going to remove the file I downloaded using my web browser. All of this happened because you downloaded it via web browser, and Mac preserves your, you know, where the origin of the file, where did this file come from, and if it sees that the file originally came from a site that it doesn't totally trust, it was downloaded from the internet and now you're trying to execute it, that's a red flag. Someone might have tricked you. I appreciate how Apple takes care of users who might not be that tech savvy, so I would excuse them for that. Let me remove this, and let's see, chamber is gone, right? So the other thing you can do is you can go back to releases, go to this, I want to download this, so right click and you can say copy link. This is Firefox, and Chrome probably something else comes up, so just copy link, then you go here and say curl minus capital O, paste whatever you had copied, press enter, give it some time, it will come to your system. I don't know why it is this slow. Okay, it took 9 seconds. It's here. Clear it up. Now you have to do MV chamber, whatever the name was. I press tab to autocomplete, and I'm gonna say chamber here again. Now it should be available as /chamber. Oh, I have not set it as executable. So chmod plus X chamber, press enter, and now /chamber should work. That was much easier than downloading and giving permissions and everything else. So just do a curl minus O, and yeah, chamber is here. Now the thing is, this bin is in my path, so I don't have to do a /chamber. I can just say chamber and it should work. It works, right? So with that, we see that the command itself is installed, it's ready to be used. Okay, I would start with creating a new vault, a new chamber file, and I have a demo folder ready with some content which I'm gonna show you. If you have looked at the previous videos, you know that the chamber file that gets eventually created is actually a SQLite database, because that's the easiest way of having, you know, of implementing a file system without reinventing the wheel. I mean, yes, there are many other ways of doing file systems, and if I try to implement a custom file system, that's going to take years. So, and that is not the problem I'm trying to solve. I'm trying to solve portability problem, and SQLite is pretty portable as it is. Anyways, if you want to know all of those, there are previous videos, you can go and look up into them, and all the decisions will probably be clear. So I'm gonna show you what chamber file will look like inside, what the database will look like right now, and the location of this thing is actually in, as you can see, users, Vaibhav Kaushal, code, TMP, and I don't have a chamber path, I don't have a chamber file. So I'm gonna ignore this for now and start creating it. So let's go back and just copy the directory name, because that's what we are going to need when creating a new vault. So with that, let's start. I'm gonna say chamber new, and then give the path to the directory. Remember, you have to give the path to a directory that does not exist or is empty. Okay, if this path exists, it's a directory and it is empty, only then it will work. Or it doesn't exist, uh, Chamber will try to create it, and you know it should work. So let me press enter. So it's alpha. I have got some fmt printlns laying around, and it just prints that it's trying to check. If it comes here and says you have to enter the password for encrypting chamber file contents, uh, well, it didn't exist, otherwise you would have gotten an error. As you can see, it created the path. Right now you have to enter the password. Right, the password must be at least 8 characters. If I just say PASS, press enter, and PASS enter, it says chamber file password must be at least 8 characters. Again, I have missed, I think, new line character here. That's okay. Um, Let me try again. This time I am going to set the password as PASSWORD. Just for the sake of this demo, please use better passwords. PASSWORD, and we press enter. Some people just don't read what the command outputs, and I wouldn't blame them. I don't read them either all the time, but please do read whatever has been given out. The password was saved to the chamber file, and the chamber file is a file that was created here. You can see a journal file lying around. This is because I said the truncate is the journaling option. um, anyway, this is your db, which is 33 kb right now. This is kb, not kib, by the way. Mac has this way of you know not telling you the kib, the power to units. Anyways, so 33 kb file. Let's read the important note. Obviously, I have written this, but it's worth pointing out. Anytime you want to denote a path inside the chamber file, you must use the chamber colon / forward slashes prefix. And this is the same thing that I had written in the release notes. This applies to all commands except new, obviously. I didn't do this here. Without this prefix, chamber will not act on the files stored within the chamber file. This is true for all the commands. Okay, what commands am I talking about? I'll show you just now. uh, Please also note that all paths within the chamber file are separated by a forward slash, even for Windows. So even if you are on Windows, you downloaded the Windows file and you placed it somewhere, you're trying to execute it. Windows uses backslash as the directory separator normally. That is not going to work for at least this version of Chamber. You have to use forward slashes when denoting paths inside the chamber. For everything else, backslashes would have to work. Okay, so this is valid, the other two are not valid, and chamber file is ready to be used. So that's new command. Okay, just created a new vault. Now, what is the use of a vault if we can't put something in, right? So let's go to a demo folder. Here I have got three things. There's readme file. This is an early version of the chamber file itself. There's a movie.mov. This is a screen recording from one of my earlier videos. This guy is 153 bytes. This is 2.81 GB in size. Code is actually a copy of chamber itself, the source code of chamber, that directory. It's here. I think it's one of the earlier states, but whatever. This is only for demo. So let me try to put something in. Now, if I go and just type chamber, like I said, I'll tell you the options and the commands. Please remember that anytime you want to learn about how the command will behave, you will get the help within the command. You don't have to go look for it outside of your terminal right now. Okay, you can use chamber, help, and one of the commands. So let's say rm. Okay, so you say rm and it will tell you rm removes a file or directory from a chamber, from the vault. I mean, to delete a directory you must pass the -r flag. The use is like this. Okay, and to remove a file you'll do something like this. There are examples that I have put in. Flags, these are generated by the Cobra CLI tool. and global flags. What global flags do are, you can set your chamber path and your password to operate on these files uh, for any of the commands. That's what it says. So let me copy over this readme.md into the chamber file. Okay, we should be able to refresh this, and you can see the tables that I had created, they are there. And the index one is, I'll show you the three main ones. These are created by SQLite, so they are not important right now. FS index always contains one root directory. I have just given it this weird name, and it's marked as a directory. You can see here the parent node is itself because it's the root one. Let me copy. So how do you copy? You have to say chamber, and then you have to say the command. So what was the command? It's cp. So you say chamber cp, and then you have to specify the file you want to copy. So I'm gonna drag and drop it here, so it will give the full path. Remember, all the paths right now have to be full. And where do you want to put it? Like we said, I want to put it in readme.md. This will create one file named readme.md right at the top. By the way, this command probably won't work because we have not supplied it with the chamber path and password. So it doesn't know where the file is, where the chamber file is, and what the password to that file is. So if you press, it says chamber path environment variable is empty and was not passed by a flag either. So what we can do is, we can go here in the beginning and we will say dash dash chamber path. Now remember, this is the path to the directory, so you take it, drop it. Okay, this is the full path. Okay, and dash dash password, I had used the word password itself as the password, so I'm going to print that. I'm going to press enter, and it says root chunk 0. This is, I have left there only for my own confirmation, visual confirmation. It says success. Let me refresh. You can see readme.md has appeared inside your chamber file fs index. If you go to file blobs, you should have an entry against it which points back to the inode. Inode is a kind of the primary key. It points back to the inode of fs index of 1, which is readme.md right here. Okay. Since chamber is available everywhere, let's go to the chamber alpha demo. We'll be seeing, let's control C that, and let's go to this directory. Let's cd to it, cd, and press enter, and we will see we have got these files, right? Now this was a small file and we got it copied into chamber file, and if you look back at the command we used, that is a mouthful. This is a long looking command. Now as a feature, what I have done is, instead of passing these every single time, you can set them as environment variables. So by the way, if you try to do that again, it should say that the file already exists, cannot copy as file already exists in the chamber. So that protection is available with you. You will not be accidentally overwriting any file with the same name within chamber. Let me set the environment variables, export, and that is chamber path equal to, and I am just going to copy this entire thing and within quotes paste this. You can do it without quotes. I'm using quotes only in case your path has got spaces, then you'll have to use quotes both here and when passing the using the new command or passing it as a flag for others. So press enter and set the password. So that is for chamber pass equal to PASSWORD password. Okay, now I am going to try to do the same thing, and this time I am going to try and copy movie.mov, M-O-V-I-E, movie.mov, and I want to set it to movie.mov. Remember, this is a large file. It will take a little bit of time for it to be copied over. All right, let me copy this first and show you why chamber is secure. If I set the password to something that is invalid as a value, for example password 1, and press enter, and now I am going to paste this command and press enter, it should say incorrect password. So if you don't have the password, the right password, it will not work. Your commands, doesn't matter, it's mkdir, it's ls, it's anything else, it will not work. You'll get this error, incorrect password entered. These weird looking strings are actually helpful for me to locate the error and why it is being caused. So please excuse those. I'll probably be leaving them even in the production version. Uh, Let me go back and set it to password. This is the correct password for this chamber or this vault. Let me try to now copy it over and press enter, and you can see it has started writing. Why does it write in chunks? The reason is there is no way you can have a single database entry, a single row in SQLite that is more than 2 GB in size. You know that movie.mov is 2.81 GB. So if I have to copy it over, I have to save it in multiple chunks. So if I go here, the list of file index, it just says movie.mov. It says size in bytes. You have got some UID, GID and permissions. These are dummy right now. And well, they don't play a role in controlling something. I am saving the SHF 256 sum for the original content, and for the encrypted content, this is not what you would probably expect. More data has got some extra data related to the operation and the file whenever it happened. Anyways, what's happening inside file blobs? Let me refresh. Have a look at what happened. If you go here, you'll see this has an inode of 2, and in file blobs you've got inode of 2, and there are multiple entries with a sequence number. Right, this is how I determine what piece was, in the first and the second, what came before it, and so on. So each of the content you can see is encrypted. Even for the readme file content that we had, the value is actually encrypted. This is inode 1, this is the readme file. You can see the value is encrypted, whereas it actually contains this. We'll copy it all out back, so don't worry about that. Let's go back to fs index, and now I want to copy code. So I'm trying to replicate the folder structure I have here, right? And so let me just try the same command with different parameters. This will not work because this is a directory and it will complain that you need to use the -r flag. So I will add the -r flag here and press enter, and this should create a lot of files and directories here which will replicate this structure. Okay, and who is the parent of which other folder, how the nesting has happened, that will be done by inode and parent inode. All right, so let's press this, and it's writing chunk 0 of a lot of files over here. Success in the end. If you refresh, you see, let me sort by inode. You can see code, and then there was dsignore, which was inside code, getignore, license. You can see the license file is here. It's also at the top directory. If you go to db, I guess there's no code, right? And it has got commercial and errata and readme. You can see that it has got inode of 8, and these 4 files have inode of 8. This is a directory. You can see is 1. If I go here, you can see that is the structure. There's a docs directory, there's a readme file, there's errata file, there's commercial.md file, right? So this is what has happened, and like, you can try it on your own and you'll see that the hierarchy checks out. But for now, let's get back. So you have seen we are able to copy in some files from our computers to the, our computer to the chamber file, the vault, right? So how do you know what's inside? List, right? You wanna know what's inside using ls command. So if you just press, like, type enter with chamber, it shows that yes, ls is there. For any of these, you can just, again, you just say chamber help, and then whatever command you wanna need help from. So help ls, it shows you the examples, the error cases, edge cases, everything, right? So for now, let's clear it up. Chamber ls. Remember, this is working without supplying the password and the chamber path, only because those are set as environment variables as I'm executing these commands. If I unset them, let's do that. Okay, so if I say unset, uh, sorry, this has to be unset in lowercase, and I would say chamber pass, and then try to chamber ls, it will say chamber pass environment variable is empty. I can't open it. That's what it's complaining about. So if you go back and set it, export chamber pass again, and now I'm gonna say ls. Oh, it says I need an argument. So if you want to know what's inside the root directory, you'll do this. You have to start with chamber when you're referring to anything inside the chamber file. Press enter. You have got a directory denoted by the D here. There is directories always show the size of 0. I know my indentation is off here. We'll fix it later. But you can see there is a movie.mov file of these many bytes. Let's just see if that is the number of bytes, right? So get info and have a look. 28068 24476, 28068 So the number of bytes checks out. It's correct. Lovely. Can we browse directories? Yes, we can. How? Just give the path name. It will show you the folder structure. You can see it is about the same that we have here, right? So you have got ds store, get ignore, license, readme, no code, build sh. There is main.go, go sum, go mod, db, and all these are directories with the 0 values over here, right? Good. So we can browse anything inside as well. So you can go to, let's say, services. Sadly, tab autocompletes won't work here, so you'll have to type it out for now at least. So go to services, and you can see cp.go, file blobs. I don't know why it is set to textmate or something. Anyways, fs index, handle mail file, ls, mkdir, rm, stat, touch, everything is in here. Lovely. So our directory got copied. But what if I want to create a new directory inside? So let me go to tmp. There is builds. Oh, okay. I think builds also got copied. I didn't intend it to happen, but fine, no problems. I am going to create mkdir chamber. This has to be inside code /tmp/ let's say test. Okay, I'll press enter. Again, this is what I'm doing here cannot be reflected in my file browser because, well, this is happening inside the chamber file. Now, if I look at code, you'll see this made in the database, by the way. So you have got code. It has parent directory of 3. So let's see what's inside code, and we'll say parent inode is equal to 3. We need to locate tmp. Is it a directory? Yes. So let's see what's inside tmp. Inside tmp we have a directory called test, like we expected. That's working as intended, right? Now what if I say Vaibhav slash, let's say, chamber, or it might be confusing. I'll just say Kaushal over here. I want to make this directory. If I press enter, it says, well, the parent path does not exist. There is no Vaibhav directory inside test. So if I take this and parent inode, it doesn't have anything inside it, right? So what to do? Place a -p here as you would for a standard Linux or Mac OS command. Press enter. It worked. Let me check. Should have a Vaibhav directory, and inside that you will find a Kaushal directory. This is also a directory. So that's how mkdi works, right? You can also delete files inside the chamber, by the way. You have to use rm command. Once more, just run the tool. You see, you'll get the available list of available commands. You can check the help again. We have already done that, so I'm not gonna do it again. But instead of doing this, let me remove the readme file inside code. Okay, and let me check. Before that, let's have the top directory. Code is 3. Let's get inside 3, and we have a readme.md whose parent, sorry, inode is 7. So if I say I want to rm a file at chamber, just a reminder, you have to always start your path with chamber : / for anything, locating anything inside or referring to anything inside the chamber or the vault. I think I need to fix on a term, get fixed up on a term. I would prefer chamber file, but that gets confusing. Vault is easier, but that's more generic. I don't know. I'm referring to, when I say chamber file, I'm referring to the vault that I just created using the chamber tool. So just keep that in mind. So let's go to code, and I want to remove readme.md. Okay, what if I say readme1.md? This doesn't exist, right? It should complain. It says path does not exist in chamber code, and it says SQL no errors in results set. I could probably suppress this in a production release, but this is alpha. It's okay. And readme.md, and press enter, and it says it worked. Let's refresh. This 7, this entry should be gone. It's gone, right? So remember, we removed readme file from inside. When we copy this entire directory back later out of here, we should not be having a readme.md file in it. Okay, what if I want to remove vendor directory? I mean, vendor directory, I probably don't need it. I can reinitialize it, right? So let's say vendor. This will not work because, oh, it's not sender, vendor, because it is a directory, and it will say, hey, you need to pass -r. Let me try. I have never tried it. Can I do it in the end? Don't know, not sure. Oh, it worked. Nice. So this 99 should also be gone. This is gone. Lovely. Which means now when we copy it out, we should not be having a vendor directory inside it, right? So should we try to copy out? I guess yes. All right. So how to copy out? It is the same way as you copy in. Instead of saying copy from the system to chamber : / something inside the chamber file, you are going to say, or in this case I am going to say chamber : / and I want to copy the entire code directory. Okay, and I want to place it at this same place, but I don't want to overwrite, so I will just say code 2 here and press enter, and a code 2 directory should appear here with no readme file at the top. This should not be there. This folder should be missing. Inside tmp, I would expect the result, the code 2, to have a tmp directory inside which there should be a test, inside which there should be a webhub, inside which there should be a caushal directory, right? Let's do it. Oh, again doesn't work because -r was not passed. My bad. You can see how it's consistent, right? So press enter, it says success, code 2 has appeared. Did you see the speed? That was impressive, wasn't it? That's all because it's written in Go, and Go generates native code and it's all pretty fast. So go to code 2. Like we expect, there is no readme file, there is no vendor directory. Inside tmp we have a test folder, we have a webhub folder, we have a caushal folder or directory, whatever you want to call. I use both the terms, so please excuse me if you are one of the religious guys, say, who is against you know calling a folder a directory or vice versa. But yeah, this worked. But this was a directory with hardly any large files in it, right? If you go to tmp, there's builds, there's something I had tried a couple of times, so this got copied. 10 MB max, right? Let us try to copy out movie.mov or readme.md, right? So let's say readme.md, and I am going to say readme.md here as well. So I'm just going to copy readme.md and press enter. Let's remove -r. You can specify -r, by the way. It will work, but it says target file contains data. That's because I'm trying to overwrite readme.md. I don't know why this is acting case insensitive, because I clearly wanted to create a file with readme written in lowercase characters, but apparently I guess Mac, this APFS supports case insensitive file systems. I don't know. So I'm gonna try again. I'm leaving the R here for recursion, and I'm gonna call it readme2.md. It says success, readme2.md has appeared. You can see the same contents over here, but you don't have to trust me. Let's check the SHA-256 sum of readme. Wow, that was weird. Readme.md and readme2.md, and it comes out as exactly the same, which means we got the original file. And if I close this and I say where, okay, parent inode equal to 0, this is from the top. If you go to readme.md and you go to SHA-256 original file, sorry, field, you will find that this value 5831 and it ends with 11F7 is the same, right? So maybe later on I'll make a check whether the file got copied properly or not. It can be used. That was a small file with 153 bytes in it. Let's try to copy out the large file now. Sorry, let's do movie2.mov, movie2.mov, and we are going to do movie.mov. As you can see over here, that's the file, right? And we can skip -r for just simple files. That is required for folders, but it also works on files. That's what I just showed, but you don't need it all the time, right? And it is being created, copied out, it says success, and it looks the same, right? I mean, it has the same number of bytes maybe. Let's check. Get info. We have the same number of bytes, as you can see, 2806824 476. That's the file size in bytes. But let's do a SHA-256 sum, a bit by bit comparison of movie.mov and movie2.mov and press enter. It will take a bit of time and calculate the SHA-SUM hashes, and they are exactly the same, right? So large files work, small files work, directories with all their contents inside they work. You are able to do a list, you are able to browse the contents of chamber file, you are able to create directories inside it, you are able to copy out all of that data as you wish. And yeah, I guess that's it. That's all of the basic operations that you need from a vault software. Probably this I will be using this for this current release for storing my own data. Obviously this is not in a production state, so I'll have multiple copies. You should too. If you're trying to use it, please do not depend on Chamber as of yet as the only secure vault method for your data. Have some precautions. Don't use it on someone else's computer who doesn't want you to steal their stuff. I mean, please don't use it for doing something illegal. Humble request. Obviously, I can't control you, I can't see everyone. So, yeah, it works and I'm pretty happy about it. I hope you should also be happy because we have already tested this entire behavior being cross-platform with Windows and Linux. We have not tested it for Raspberry Pi or ARM versions yet, but I hope you will be able to do that yourself. And if you are here, well, thanks for watching. Well, before I go, I have to say one more thing. Typically, when you do a copy or a move or something, you can skip this part, right? That is not yet supported. If you do this, the target is a directory, cannot copy a file to a directory, so it doesn't work right now. But well, that will be solved later on, and hope you will enjoy using Chamber. All right, thank you guys if you watched, and please leave your feedback. Please join the Discord. The link, I'll give the links, all the links that I have talked about in the description of this video on YouTube. And see you later. See you on Discord. That's the, again, I'm repeating it. So the most active platform I use for all of the TechRail work is Discord, and we have a good community over here. I'll probably respond to your requests as well. Thank you. That would be enough. It's been a long video. If you watched it, thank you so much for watching. Take care. Bye bye.